Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're talking about the Steamdeck Pro. As you might have recently heard, the Steam Deck 2 might be a little further off than we would like. On a recent podcast, on the Friends Per Second podcast, Valve had this to say about the Steam Deck 2. Valve's Lawrence Yang. We want there to be a big leap, a generational leap, is what we've said in terms of performance in a specific power envelope. And Pierre from Valve followed that up with this. We want to have a big leap in performance at the same battery life that we have right now. But the technology for that, simply put, just does not exist today. So that brings me to this guy, the Lenovo Legion Go S with Steam OS. This is the Z1 Extreme 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte Steam OS model. So for all intent and purposes, this is kind of what a lot of people are calling the Steam Deck Pro. But is it? Let's find out now. All right, so everybody that's thinking about picking this up as a replacement to the Steam Deck, or maybe you haven't jumped in yet, but you feel like the Steam Deck's a little too underpowered and you want to get the Steam Deck Pro type experience, well, this does come with some trade-offs that you're going to want to know about before you make that purchasing decision. First off, let's talk about price, because this kind of sits right in the middle of like entry-level PC handhelds and then the high-end stuff. So this sucker retails for $899 US, and recently it was on sale through Black Friday for $649 through Lenovo's website and through Best Buy. So that was a really great deal. And when it's priced that way, you can say it's definitely competing against the Xbox ROG Ally, the original Legion Go, the Steam Deck OLED model for sure. Maybe even the Steam Deck LCD if you get, maybe the 512 model even. So in terms of price, it really is, it kind of competes at the top and at the bottom. And it's just kind of like hanging out right in the middle. So is this the Steam Deck that you guys are really looking for? Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the ergonomics, because everybody online is saying that this is the most ergonomic PC handheld out there. And to be fair, this is quite nice, but it's not perfect, and I don't even think it is the best. Okay, so what problems do I have with the ergonomics? Well, you guys already see on the right-hand side here, the stick. Look how low it is. It's like almost at the middle of the screen. So when you're holding this and you're actually, handheld, not resting it on something, like maybe you're sitting up in bed or something like that, and you have to actually hold it without resting it or anything like that. You're gonna have to shimmy that hand down a little bit to get to this thumb grip. Now, some people out there, you might just use the middle of your thumb. I saw somebody post that on Reddit asking if they were weird, and I don't know if you're weird or not. Maybe I'm weird, but I don't like playing like that. So there's a couple of different ways that I've kind of gone about holding it. So like the first one is just kind of, putting my palm all the way down, and then that way my thumb fits in the right spot. But it makes the bumper and the trigger a little bit tougher to get to. So more often than not, I kind of shimmy my hand outwards and kind of just do that, so I can still get access to all the buttons, the thumbstick, the RB button, and the right trigger, fairly easily. And it's comfortable enough holding it that way. It's not the preferred way that I would like to hold it. I would like to just have like a nice, good grip all the way around. And for me, the Steam Deck is still the one I can do that with, where I can just get my normal, I would want to hold the device, and then all of my fingers and thumbs kind of just align right where they should. Let's talk about that screen. So this screen is an 8-inch 1200p 120 Hz refresh rate LCD panel. And at first glance, I think it is quite nice. But the more that you use it, it does have a few drawbacks. Number one, if you are teetering on the mid-range to high-end market, so if you're thinking about this between higher end model, especially the Legion Go 2 with its OLED, this is a big downgrade from that. So the difference between that OLED screen and this LCD screen, on the black levels, first of all, this LCD panel, it has some light bleed at the bottom of the panel. Now, this is a total kind of crapshoot thing. So when you're dealing with LCD, you could look at 10 different displays. 3 of them might have really bad light bleed. 7 of them might have none at all. Mine does have some light bleed at the bottom in one particular area of the screen, more so than the rest. So for me, that's like super distracting, and that's like a total non-starter. So if this is a device that I'm going to keep, I'm probably going to go exchange it, because that's just a little bit too distracting for me. Now, those are kind of nitpicky things. Not everybody cares about that. I get that. So if you don't care about a little bit of light bleed, this panel is going to be totally fine for you. Okay, so how about against its sister device, the Legion Go 1? This panel here is a big downgrade from Legion Go 1. So if you're thinking about, if you have a Legion Go 1 and you're like looking at this because maybe it's got the better battery life that you want, more ergonomic design, all in one kind of a thing, the display is going to be a bit of a disappointment. So not only are you going to deal with an LCD panel, the Go 1 has an LCD panel too, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad, because the Go 1's LCD panel is actually one of the best like small screen LCD panels I have ever used. It's 1600p, it's 144 hertz. No, it doesn't have VRR, but its contrast ratio and its color reproduction, like it has just phenomenally, like just beautiful, vibrant colors. So I don't know if those panels are just like out of the box tuned a specific way, but they are great. And this one, in comparison, it doesn't look quite as good. The colors don't pop off the screen as much. You might have saw in my unboxing video, well, that was one of the first comments. It's like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to be able to tweak the colors. And in SteamOS, you can do that a little bit. You don't get much control, but it does have a vibrancy toggle, and you can slide that bad boy over, and you can get a little bit more vibrant colors. I've done that on mine, so this is the most vibrant setting here, and the colors do look good, but they do not look as good as the Legion Go 1. Okay, so how about compared to the Steamdeck OLED? Again, the Steamdeck OLED is probably, in my opinion, going to be the winner here in terms of the display because of the OLED, and that's really where it's going to end as far as like my decision goes. I just like it better. And I lied. Okay, it's actually the OLED plus HDR. I think now that I've got my hands on more of these handhelds, I'm telling you, HDR is a big deal, and it makes a big difference in the image quality and like the experience that you're going to get on these handhelds. So like when I'm playing on the Legion Go 2, when I'm playing on the Steamdeck OLED, it makes a big difference in how your games look, and it just makes it a lot more fun to play, in my opinion. But other aspects of the display, you could say that the Legion Go wins. So it has 1200p versus 800p, so you get a little bit sharper of an image. I mean, a lot sharper of an image, let's be honest here. And it has VRR support. So you get a 48 to 120 hertz VRR window. So whenever you are playing games that you can keep above that 48 hertz mark, you're going to get like just a buttery smooth image. And that's another thing, you know, for if you're new to PC handhelds, you're trying to decide which one to buy, a device that has VRR support, it's like a game-changing experience if you can keep the game in the VRR window. And that is a big caveat, because a lot of these devices, it's hard to keep them above 48 FPS for newer games. Now, if you just want this to be an indie machine, you're playing, you know, 2D side scrollers, Metroidvanias, lightweight games, stuff like that, that you can always hit, you know, 120 FPS, 90 FPS, whatever, you know, obviously you're going to be in that VRR window every single time. So it's going to be just an absolute joy. Okay, so let's talk about the controls. On the controls, the first thing that I want to point out is these back buttons. Listen to this. You hear how loud that is? That's ridiculous. So these are the two back buttons. Here's the left bumper, right bumper, and right trigger, left trigger, which are not so bad. But then you get the top buttons. Let me turn that volume down so you can actually hear the buttons. All right, so here are the buttons. Let me just turn it off. There we go. Here's the buttons. See how like nice and quiet they made these buttons? But what's up with that? So if you're playing this around other people and you're using the back buttons, they are all kinds of clacky. So you just need to be aware of that. Okay, let's talk about the fans, because these are loud. Okay, these fans get so loud. So I pulled it out over the weekend. I got, my wife, family sitting around, and, not unlike I've done before with other gaming handhelds, nobody's ever said anything about the fans. I've used my Legion Go 1, which does have kind of loud fans. Steam Deck can occasionally have a loud fan. Legion Go 2, I think actually is pretty good, maybe the best of the bunch in terms of the fan. But these fans get so loud that they actually commented on them. It sounds like a jet engine. It gets so loud. So if you are using your handheld and playing around other people, and maybe you're using your earbuds and you're trying to stay quiet, this is going to be a little bit of a problem for you, or at least an annoyance to those around you. So if you've got those fans going, also if you're using those back buttons, you're gonna get those little real clacky clack 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 clack. It's just a loud device. So it is something you're gonna have to be aware about if you're gonna pick up this device, and if those scenarios apply to you. So if fan noise or clacky buttons matter to your buying decision, this is not good at either of those two things. Okay, but what about the games? That's what we're here to do, right? We're here to play the games. So can you play games on this that you cannot play on the Steam Deck? Well, here's the thing. They're both running the same OS. So for all intent and purposes, as far as like Valve is concerned, when you get the Steam Deck recommendations, as far as I can tell, it's still recommending the same thing, whether it's a Steam Deck LCD, a Steam Deck OLED, or this Legion Go S. I don't think it distinguishes between the two in terms of their, this is a Steam Deck verified, this is playable, this is not playable, whatever, okay? As an example, okay, Avatar. They just came out with their third-person update, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. So, it's not supported, and it says it's not playable on any device. Matter of fact, they don't want you to play it so bad that it's hidden from the main listings on the top. Like, I had to go to the store to even get it to like where I could go play it, and then you had to like manually unhide it, which is hilarious. I don't know why that is. But anyway, you get that loaded up on Steam Deck, forget it. It's not playing at all. Actually, that's not true. There's a couple things you can do to get it playing. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is navigate to the controller, and then you're going to want to click on the top part there and go to Community Layouts. And there's actually a layout here that says it was developed by Ubisoft and Valve for this, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of like super janky. It seems like it's like using keyboard controls to basically be the controller. And then you need to go to basically to the properties, and you're going to want to set the launch resolution to 800 by 500. Yes, you heard that right, 800 by 500. And with these settings, you'll at least be able to navigate. Now, the main menu controls are going to be really hard to use, so I just really can't recommend it. But once you get it running, you can see here it does run okay at times. Now you'll see as we progress along a little bit here, it will start stuttering. And when it does kind of do some, like right there, boom, just mega frame drops, just completely unplayable at that point. So, and when you get into like, this game is really about like a lot of like base raiding and kind of killing a ton of enemies in these different kind of bases. And there's lots of enemies going on, and so when you're in those areas, I just can't imagine that it's going to be like very playable at all. But I did want to at least show that you can get it running, and at times it can be fairly smooth. You can certainly see that the Legion Go S here is running it absolutely totally fine. And you can probably even tweak the settings to get them a little bit better. I did the launch options for the Legion Go S to 1280 by 800. So it is running at 800p here. But you can kind of tweak it because you do have some room and some overhead to be able to sort of tweak it to run to your liking. But overall, I'm really impressed with the Legion Go S here. I mean, it's taking a game that is practically unplayable on the Steam Deck. I know we do have it running here pretty decently in the bottom window here. But again, once you get to any sort of intensive areas, the game is just gonna kind of come to its knees a little bit, especially even just like kind of loading in certain different areas. Also, if you want to enable the third person mode, you can see me invoking the keyboard down there on the Steam Deck and then hitting the J button. And you can also do this on the Legion Go S as well. And I believe that's the Steam key and the X button. Now you'll see me do it here in just a second on the Legion Go S. Yeah, so you basically have to bring up the in-screen keyboard, hit the J button, and that will put you in the third person mode. And I haven't had a chance to play a ton of this yet in terms of third person mode, but as so far, the little bit that I have, it does look pretty good. It looks like it's been implemented really well. If you're interested in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, I will say it is absolutely one of the most beautiful games that I've ever played in terms of like its environment and its world. Especially if you have a higher end PC, or I played it on at the time just standard PS5, and it really looked incredible. So it definitely would be a cool game to revisit some of the DLC on like PS5 Pro, or maybe even, I'm not sure if it's on GeForce Now. That would be super cool to play this on either one of these devices via GeForce Now and just get like the ultra high settings just to get the absolutely most beautiful experience possible. But yeah, it is a fun game. It's like an open world Ubisoft checkbox type of a game, so I really enjoyed it. I don't think the characters or the story are anything to write home about, and if you've seen the Avatar movies, neither are those, so I don't think that's any real big surprise there. But there you go. You see the third person mode going here now on the Legion Go S. And again, yeah, this seems totally playable on the Legion Go S, which it's so weird that the controls just work automatically and you don't have to do that weird button mapping stuff. Okay, so as you can see, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora on the Steam Deck. Can you? Sure. Is it good? No. Absolutely not. No. You don't want to play it on the Steam Deck. Now, can you play it on the Legion Go S? And would that then qualify this as the Steam Deck Pro? Well, I would say this is an experience I would be willing to play on this handheld. If this was like my only option, didn't have other consoles, whatever, this is totally playable on this device and not on the Steam Deck. Okay, so maybe you're not one of those people that uses headphones or earbuds all the time and the speakers are really important to you. How are the speakers? Well, they are front firing, which is nice. That is good. Okay, let's have a quick listen to the speakers on the Legion Go S and some of these other devices here so you can kind of compare for yourself. And as far as where I would put them in all of the other PC handhelds that we've had here on the channel, I would say it is, of course, better than the Legion Go 1 because the Legion Go 1 was terrible. I would say it's not quite as good as the Legion Go 2. The Legion Go 2 is just a much like kind of richer, more full sound. It's got like a better sound stage to it, I think. It just the Legion Go 2 speaker is really quite good. They are not nearly as good as the Xbox ROG Ally X or Xbox ROG Ally in terms of volume or like fullness of the audio. I would say these are good. These are fine. They're totally serviceable. If I was playing it on speaker, wouldn't bother me a bit. Wouldn't have any problems with it. So if you're concerned about the speaker quality, I'd say these are good to go. They're not going to blow you away, but they're also not going to, they're not going to be like, man, I wish I would have got this PC handheld because it has way better speakers. Now, in terms of the operating system, obviously this is running SteamOS. So this is just like operating a Steam Deck. So the menu system, everything about it is exactly the same with just a few little tweaks that they added in there to support Lenovo. Hey guys, I just wanted to take a second to say thank you for watching the video. If this is your first time at the channel, it would be super awesome if you like this type of content, if you could hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, and you clicking that button would go a long way to helping us do that. Of course, leave a like on the video, and leave me a comment down below. If you have any questions about the Legion Go S or any of these other handheld PCs, or how it compares or stacks up, or if there's something you specifically want to see about the Legion Go S going up against the Steam Deck or the Legion Go 2 or whatever, please drop those in the comments below so that way I can see what you guys want to see so I can continue making great content. Okay, so after all that, is this the Steamdeck Pro people are talking about? I would say it's more like Steamdeck 1.5. I'd say that's fair. This is not going to give you whatever you were getting on Steam Deck at 30 at 60. Sometimes it will, maybe. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes they'll run not too much different. Sometimes maybe this will run a game like Avatar that just doesn't really run at all on Steam Deck. So I think it is a pretty good first device for Steam to have partnered with outside of their own hardware. So I feel more comfortable calling it Steam Deck 1.5, not necessarily Steam Deck Pro. How do you feel about it? Do you own a Legion Go S? Is it a Steam Deck Pro for you? Or would you classify it more as a Steam Deck 1.5? All right, so as we wrap up the video, I just want to say thank you guys again for watching. If you made it this far, aces, I love you. One more thing you guys can do, if you would like to help support the work that I do here, you can become a member today. If you become a member, you'll get early access to all the videos. You get priority replies in the comments. You can get access to the private Discord server, which, hopefully over time, a lot of you will be in there. Right now, it's just one guy. I think he's this guy. So if you want to become a member, you can certainly do that, and it is super appreciated. Not required, but hey, it's there if you want it. Oh, and we'll see you in the next one. Just click on one of these things that go to my channel and watch more of my stuff. That would be awesome. Love you guys. It's so cheesy every time you do it, even worse on camera. And as soon as I put it next to the microphone, fans quiet it down. Hey, I'm just dropping in to tell you to subscribe, hit the like, comment down below. What they call a confidence monitor. You like lean into the camera, you act all kind of an idiot, and it's just what you do. Which is, that's kind of kooky. I don't want to do that. You're like, I can't see my hands. Let me throw my hands up. Let me throw my hands up. What's he doing? Is he juggling? I don't know what he's doing. Back to the video. What are we even doing here? Do I look like too big of a Death Stranding mark? See the Death Stranding controller I got. It was on sale. Another awful video in the tank. So if you want, like, hey, almost private access to this idiot, I think we're good here.